Hi, it's Mr. Johansson here, and today I'm showing you how to use the Math Learning Center's app called Number Pieces. And anytime you're doing an assignment that calls for the use of tiles, such as the multiplication with tiles assignment, I would be sure to use the online version rather than cutting out all the individual pieces. I think this makes a lot more sense. It's easier. It's less frustrating. So to get started, I wanted to show you a couple of tricks. I'm going to be multiplying 23 times 11 using tiles. So I'm going to click on these gray buttons to get started, and make sure you scoot it over just a little bit so you have some space. That gives you a marker. There's 10 spaces here. These light gray ones are used as your borders so that you can figure out where 23 is. So far I've got two sets of 10. That makes 20. To make the 3, I'll move this down so you can see it. To make the 3, just drag that arrow down until you get to the 3. So I've got 3 little boxes there. I'm going to drag that up, and now going across the top, I've built 23. You'll do the same thing going down the side. You're going to have 11, and you just line it up. Oops, a little bit off. And for the other 11, when you make a mistake like I just did, all you have to do is, while the blue line is still around the shape, just select the delete key, and it will delete it for you. And so once you get this all lined up, we're going to do it one more time. We're going to take this down to a 1. We're going to line it up. And then you can start filling in, and your goal is to fill in inside that border with what you would have. Well, I noticed right away that I'm going to be able to fit one of these big squares in. And you'll notice that you just kind of line it up, and if it's not lining up perfect, you can always move your borders a little bit. Don't forget to move this one down here as well. Getting the borders to line up perfect with your shape kind of is important, and at the same time it takes a little bit of playing around with to get it perfect like that. But you notice now that my borders match that shape. I can fit one of those 100 squares in. I can fit another 100 square in. So far I'm up to 200. I cannot fit any more 100 squares in, but I can fit some 10s. And I want to show you a nice little trick. I think I'm going to be able to fit 3 of those in. If you hold the shift key down and click on each of those pieces, you can move them all at once. So hold the shift key down, click on each of the shapes, and it groups them. Well, I still have a little bit more to go. Do you notice the space down at the bottom? I'm going to move this guy down. That fits in there nicely. I'm going to move this one down. That fits in there nicely. I'm almost done. It looks like I have 3 more boxes to fill in. I'm going to use that shift and then click. And you've got it. Now, one trouble is when they're all the same color, it can be hard to count. So if I click on this and I come down here to the color button, I can actually change the color so that I can see them easier, and that's just fine to do. Once you create your border, you can also shift to the color down here, but notice that there's no borders when you go to the color. So make sure you start with the borders and then switch your colors. And that would also be okay. So how does this work? Well, I can see without doing the standard algorithm that I've got 200 in green. I've got 50 in yellow. So now I'm up to 250. I've got 253. So 253 would be the answer to that problem. By the way, this is a strategy that people use to do complex multiplication in their head. And when you see people doing things in their head, they're very seldom using the standard algorithm. Usually they're doing strategies of some sort to break numbers apart. So I hope that helps. Please feel free to Zoom me anytime you have any questions, and or send me a message, and I'd be happy to help.